The Damian Lillard to Toronto stuff is not going away, so I think it's worthwhile revisiting this conversation a little bit and expanding on it some more. What's up, everybody? It's JJ Buckets. That's what we're going to talk about today. Before I fully get into things, usual drill, you already know. If you're on this video, just hit the like button. It takes a second, makes a huge difference in the algorithm, so thank you. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Plus, if you plan on doing any responsible sports betting in the near future, just make sure to check out my link in the description below. Coming from NBA Central, per HP Basketball, that's the thing nobody's really saying, but everyone around the league kind of knows that the Raptors are amongst the team when they're referring to, the Raptors having shown interest in Damian Lillard. And I think kind of the prevailing opinion of late, or the prevailing thought of late that's kind of been around, is that the Raptors are the quote-unquote mystery team lurking on Damian Lillard. And I think there's some complexity to the situation, which is naturally why this video exists, that just needs to be discussed. So now, first and foremost, do I think there's legitimacy to the rumors that the Raptors are lurking on the Dame situation, that they maybe are trying to play a hand? You know what? Like, I think there is. I think there is. I think there's a very solid chance that they realistically are kind of just like around on the edges, around the corners, just seeing like, hey, what if the Miami to Dame thing never gets done? Dame still needs a new suitor, so maybe we come in and we strike. I think there is genuinely some legitimacy to that, especially because you've had some recent reports that Pat Riley and Miami basically quote-unquote like dared Portland to go and see if they can find a better trade package, which obviously nothing's gone done in any situation. So obviously Dame is still a Blazer as of now and no move has been made. I think the situation is complex for a few reasons. I think the big one is very obvious, is the fact that Damian Lillard says he wants to be in Miami. Damian Lillard has pretty much made that like his one and only wish in this regard, and it's to some extent going to be tough to convince the guy to play elsewhere, right? Like, I think that's kind of the notion there, that Dame wants to go to Miami. Anywhere else he goes, he's not going to be content. He might not even show up, all that kind of stuff, all that talk. So you're sitting there, and I think any other team that's, potentially thinking about throwing out a package for Dame, that is genuinely something that you have to consider, right? It's just, what level of commitment are we going to get from Damian Lillard if we trade for him? And I think for Raptors fans, it is easy to kind of like sit there and kind of look at the Kawhi situation and just think to yourself, well, we had a disgruntled star show up here before that didn't necessarily want to be here, and that situation turned out well. Only thing I'm going to say with that is not everything is a one-to-one in that regard. Like, yes, it's worked out with Kawhi before, but is Kawhi coming in here with the same mindset that Damian Lillard would be? Because Kawhi was on a 1 year and realistically controlled his future after that one season regardless. So I think for Kawhi, his decision to play was not a difficult one by any means. He was going to show up and it's like, all right, well, I have 1 year left on my contract and I'm going to play it out, and then I can dictate whatever I want to do from there. With Damian Lillard, that's really not the case. With Damian Lillard, because of his contract, he would be here for a few seasons, and I think for Dame, it matters to get to a destination that he's comfortable with. And I don't think it's just him, I think it's his family and all that stuff. So that's why he's really angling for Miami. I think that's a decision that he and his family, I mean, obviously I have no close personal relations, but I imagine it's a discussion that's been had behind closed doors that's like, yes, that is where they want to go. And quite frankly, I think Damian Lillard sits there and thinks, after all the years that he gave to Portland, that he's owed as much to pick his next destination. And you can argue whether or not that's true, but to some extent, I really do think that is the kind of mindset here on Damian Lillard's behalf. The other thing that I think really needs to be discussed with this situation is the fact that, yes, Miami have sat there and have essentially, again, rumored, allegedly told Portland, hey, if you can go find a better offer, try to. And obviously the underlying subtext of that is, if you can convince Dame to go there, try it, right? And if you're Toronto and you have to put up a better offer than Miami in this case, you're in all likelihood probably gonna have to give up Scotty. Excuse me. I'm just gonna put that out there, and I'm gonna let that thought linger with all of you. Is that trade worth it? Because I think in any case that you're trading for Damian Lillard, you're gonna be surrendering obviously your future to some extent, and you're gonna be surrendering depth to some extent. After you do both of those things, do you see the Raptors squad as poised to win the East, compete for a title? Because that's the end game here, right? Like, if you're trading for Damian Lillard, you're doing it with the confidence that, hey, this is gonna put us over the top to win a championship. That should be the mindset, I imagine, at the very least. And that's a question that Toronto needs to ask themselves, and that's a question obviously that I'll leave up to you folks in the comment section, because if you're trading like Scotty and whatever other like depth pieces obviously to make the money work, because you got to make the money work, like, you're probably going to give up considerable assets, something that I talked about in the first time that I did this video. And after those considerable assets are gone, do you still see yourself as a legitimate championship contender? That's the question of the day. That's what I'll leave to everybody in the comment section. The long and short, yes, I believe these rumors that Toronto is lurking. Do I believe the realistic possibility they're going to trade for him? A little bit more up for debate. Ultimately, I'm just going to come out and say it. I don't think this deal gets done. And if it gets done, I would be very interested in seeing what the framework is in terms of the players surrendered versus what they're getting back and all that good stuff. Obviously, you have draft capital as well and all that stuff. But yeah, I'd be very interested in seeing that, where it leaves them in terms of, you know, being potentially in the hunt for a championship afterwards. There's a lot of questions here and a lot of things to discuss in the comment section. So yeah, that's what it's there for. Drop it in the comment section. Other than that, folks, I think that's pretty much it for the day. Last bit of, I guess, housekeeping in this video, the usual stuff that I talk about. Just make sure you're leaving a like on the video. It truly does help. I really do mean it. So, like, please drop that like. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Will, once again, I said it on the last video, but I'll say it once again. Sorry for the audio issues with the last one. It was a new setup and there was things to figure out. There's still things to figure out, obviously, so the audio quality improves for the next time, should we do it again. So yeah, just apologies, and I will do better. Other than that, folks, it's been JJ Buckets. It's been a pleasure. I will see everybody next time.